Hi, good evening everyone. This is Shivprasad Yadav. Now, in this video, we will discuss about phases of banking or generations of banking. So, there are actually five generations of banking or five phases of banking in Indian context. So, either you can write phases of banking in India or you can write generations of banking in India. So, I'm using the word generations of banking. So, there are five generations. This is one, this is two, three, four, five. So, in total, we have five generations of banking. So, first generation of banking starts with 1770. Here you can take 1947 or 1949. Either the date is, either the year is okay. So, I am taking 1949. So 1770 to 1949. And the second generation is from 1949 to 69. That is nationalization of banks. And third generation is 1969 to 1991. And the 1991 to 2008. And the 2008 to till date. So these are the five generations of banking. So first generation starts with 1770 with the establishment of the very first bank in India, that is Bank of Hindustan. Here you have the most prominent things like First Bank and presidential banks, RBI, and in 1949 you have BR Act actually. So 1949 Banking Regulation Act. So this is the significance of first generation of banking. So the very first bank established in 1770. In between 1770 to 1949, numerous banks have been established, but they are important in stock point only. So First Bank, presidential banks, three presidential banks. Then you have Imperial Bank of India in 1921. You have RBI in 1935 and Banking Regulation Act 1949. And from 1949 to 1969, you have, after the completion of this BR Act, you have State Bank of India nationalization here. That means whatever the princely states banks are there, Bank of Indore, Bank of Patiala, Bank of Mysore, they were converted into state banks and they were added into State Bank of India group actually. So that has happened in between 1949 to 1969. And in between, in 1964, you have the establishment of Industrial Development Bank of India, IDBI. And in 1969, first nationalization of banks you have. That is the significance of this period. And from 1969 to 1991, we have establishment of regional rural banks and we have the establishment of NABARD. I'm taking the most important points only. I'm not discussing about everything that is there here. So number of institutions were established. I'm not taking those things into consideration. I'm taking those which are very important only with respect to that particular generation. And from 1991 to 2008, you have huge changes in banking. So banking reforms. And as there is a global economic crisis in 2008, the banking system has to change a lot. That's why 2008 has been taken as the beginning of fifth generation of banking. This is we are doing at present. So fifth generation of banking I'll discuss in detail because There we have to discuss all issues related to non-performing assets, whatever the committees are there with respect to monetary policy, whatever the committees are there with respect to priority sector lending and suggestions related to lead bank scheme, all those things we will take. So in brief, I am concluding this one. First generation 1770 to 1949, second generation 1949 to 1969, third generation 1969 to 1991, and 1991 to 2008, 2008 to till date. Here you have more banking, which is important in contemporary point of view. That's why this is a special and a separate session. I'm not dealing it in detail. So this is in brief five generations of banking in India. At present, we are in fifth generation of banking. Keep that thing in mind, and that is the end of this session. And an examination point of view, they can ask so many questions based on this flow chart because here you have Reserve Bank of India. There can be a question on the basis of Reserve Bank of India, and there can be a question on Banking Regulation Act. There can be a question on nationalization of Imperial Bank of India into State Bank of India, and regional rural banks. Revival of regional rural bank concept is also there, and priority sector lending concept comes here. Lead bank scheme comes here, so there can be a question on this one, that one also. In 2020 we have a question on lead bank scheme actually, so that particular question is from this generation, second generation of banking. And banking reforms, there can be numerous questions on the basis of tier 1 capital, tier 2 capital, tier 3 capital, what are Basel 3 norms. And when it comes to fifth generation, whatever the contemporary questions are there, all are related to fifth generation only. So if we focus on five generations of banking, and if we complete each and every session, each and every generation in detail, there is a possibility of getting very good marks in economy, not only with respect to UPSC civil service examination, but also this thing will be helpful in all other exams also, like state public service commission exams and bank POs and SSC CGL. So very good content is there. That's why you will get good score if you are thorough with all these concepts present in five generations of banking. So that's all. This is the end of this session, and I'll discuss more on my next video. Thank you.